In 2026, it is often said
that you have to love yourself no matter what, your shape and size, and that looks, they don't matter.
And well, we both know that is bullshit. Because at 21 years old, I was 135 kilograms, with my clothes size and body weight at an all-time high, and my general self-confidence at an all-time low. And best believe, I fucking cared about that a lot. But it didn't have to be that way for me, and it doesn't have to be that way for you. Because I ended up not just dropping some weight, I ended up going through the kind of change where I could sit there and show people the before and after photos of me, and they would be sitting there going, holy shit, and you can do the same. And I genuinely believe that there are 5 things that if you can nail them and control these, you can not only drop that weight, but go and get in the best fucking shape of your life. Because honestly, what is life if you're not spending it in a body that you're happy, proud, and confident in? So let's get right into it. Number 1, be totally okay with the 3 stages that you are going to face. Now, I will take a wild guess and say that you're no stranger to trying to drop a little bit of weight and get in better shape. In fact, I would go as far to say that if you had £1 for every single time you've started that diet, you could really retire tomorrow and just be a millionaire. But you always seem to get to a certain point and get stuck and then fail and then go back, and then you've got to start all over again. And you just spend year after year, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. And I believe it's because you aren't aware of the 2nd and the 3rd stage. We've all experienced what I like to call the honeymoon phase, where you start the diet, motivation's sky high, the results are coming in, the scale's coming down, you're feeling better, you're feeling locked in, all that good stuff. But then what happens? You eventually hit that plateau, or you hit the period where the results aren't coming as quick. You get demotivated, you get pissed off, you're thinking, why am I doing all this and I'm not even getting the results that I want? Well, I've been there, and in fact, I probably spent about 2 to 3 years there before I actually made the true changes. And that's because you don't actually adjust the plan. Let's say that you start your diet at 110 kilograms, and in that first 4 weeks, you drop down to 105 kilograms. There is a chance that what got you from 110 to 105 may not get you from 105 to 100. It may for some people, but it might not for you, because people forget that everybody's body is different. So when you hit those weeks where you feel that you are doing every single thing right, gym, nutrition, training, activity, and the weight is not coming down, do you potentially need to add a couple of thousand more steps on? Do you potentially need to drop your calories by 500 over the week? You're here, your deficit is here. You've then came down here. You might need to just bring your deficit down. And that is stage 2. Now after stage 2 and you've adjusted the plan, then you will actually get into stage 3, which is where you actually see the true changes. Now in that stage 3, you're going to have another few mini stage 2s, because as the weight comes down more and more, you're going to need to continue to adjust the plan. But once you've adjusted it that first time and you've seen the benefits of it, and you've got beyond that a plateau which has held you back so many times before, it's going to be a lot easier doing it time after time again. And then into stage 3, you will see the true, oh my god, what the fuck kind of changes. Number 2, and this is all about understanding your emotions around food. Probably the biggest one for me. See, for years I was a secret binge eater. Monday, Friday, I would be so on it, tracking every single calorie to the gram. It would get to Saturday, Sunday, and I would feel the need to relax and let myself go and have more balance. But that would just end up with me putting away 2, 4, 6, 8, genuinely 10,000 calories over a weekend, no issues. Now, I thought that my problem was the fact that I was greedy and ill-disciplined, and I just couldn't lock in enough. But it wasn't that. It was the fact that all of that eating was actually just an emotional cope, an emotional reactor to something which was going on in my body and my head. Because when we get stressed in life, which, let's be honest, as an adult, happens a lot, and that could be stress, frustration, anger, sadness, anxiety, loneliness, all of those things have got something in common, and that is the fact that they are all connected to our cortisol, which is our stress hormone. Any of those emotions that I just explained, and probably more so that I've not even mentioned, when they go up, your stress cortisol goes up as well. When that happens, your body doesn't want to feel like that, so it's going to look to somewhere they can get some dopamine, which is essentially its way of battling against that. Because when you get a hit of dopamine, it will give you an initial rush of not positivity, but you will feel somewhat less stressed, anger, whatever it may be. Junk food, sugary foods give you that instant hit of dopamine. That's why you've never come in from a hard day at work or a terrible day in general and went, do you know what, I'm going to get a fucking cabbage. No, you've came in and you thought, I'm going to get a Domino's. I'm going to scran that packet of biscuits in the cupboard. Whatever it may be. So what I want you to start thinking about is less, how can I be perfect and disciplined? And more, how can I actually understand what's going on in my life, feel a certain way? If I'm always feeling angry, why? If I'm always feeling anxious and frustrated and sad, what potentially in my life is causing that? You've got to think about the trigger and the urge. What's happening is the overeating. Before that is the urge. But before that is the trigger. If you can work from the trigger, it's like the foundation. When you can fix the foundation, you're going to be much less likely to have that urge and just much less likely to find yourself eating emotionally constantly. Number 3, just fucking track everything at the start. I know this is going to sound like the most basic coach fitness guy thing to say, but it needs to be said because there is so much now, especially in 2026, about tracking is obsessive and focusing on your numbers is obsessive. Well, I would think it's more obsessive that we spend our lives in a body that we hate. I would much rather focus on how we can get out of that obsessive. Tracking is not something that you have to do forever, but right now with where you are at, 30 days I would always say is the good time frame, and just track every single thing. All the food, all your drinks, all your sauces, all your oils, or that little snack or bite of something that you had in the office when somebody offered you a bit of it. Track all of it as much as you can, and you will be surprised with how much you are eating. Number 4, cut out the snacks. Another one which was really hard for me because I grew up in my family, in my household, snacking was just a very normal thing. But where I was at, with where my body weight was at, with how out of shape I was still going to my food shop and I was still buying snacks. I still had this snack cupboard. There was never a time where I didn't have biscuits or chocolate or crisps or sweets in my cupboard. You're going to hear a lot of people online say, oh, don't restrict all your foods, don't cut everything out, it's all about balance. And I would say at some point restriction may actually be one of the best things for you. Cutting out snacks for a short period of time helped me with stay more on track with my nutrition. I felt better. Because the thing that I think about as well now, if you truly want a snack, if you truly want a biscuit or a chocolate bar, you can go to the shops and buy one. Because a lot of the times where you find yourself snacking, which let's be honest, it's 9, 10 p.m. when you're sitting on the couch, it's usually boredom. Or it's one of the emotions that we spoke about earlier. Snacking is not going to be the thing to actually get you beyond that. So I would say that at the start, with where you're at right now, if you are about to, or you're currently in your phase, your period of dieting and trying to drop that weight, just cut out the snacks. Stick to your 3 main meals. Over the past 16 weeks, I have just gotten into the best shape of my life for a fitness photo shoot. But one thing that was better than it has ever been before on this most recent diet phase for me was my nutrition. It was the most controlled, most consistent it has ever felt. And that's because I've got a really simple system that I use. And I've put this into a free guide for you to download. In the description down below, you put in your email, it will take you 10 seconds and it will be with you instantly. And I guarantee it's going to help you out a lot. And into number 5, finishing off, actually don't batter yourself with cardio at the start. I know that might sound a bit counterintuitive, because it's so common that when you go into your diet weight loss mindset, you think, right, I need to add in cardio. It's not actually that beneficial. When you are starting out, put more focus onto your steps and your nutrition. When you come off of a cardio session, your hunger is going to be sky high. It's also going to fatigue you even more. You need to stop looking at cardio as almost a thing of, right, the more cardio that I do, the better, because that is actually not true. Cardio is something that you add in to help out. Whatever your average steps are right now, add on 3,000 per day to that. That will be about an extra 20 minutes walking. And that is a lot more enjoyable than painfully sweating out on a cardio machine for 20 to 30 minutes. You're also going to feel less muscle fatigue, so you're probably going to feel more energy. You'll also feel less hunger. Stop going into your diets with the mindset of, how can I batter my body as much as possible? Go into it with the mindset of, for the next 6 weeks, I'm going to do 3,000 to 4,000 more steps per day. I'm going to track every single thing that I eat. I'm going to go to the gym and lift weights 3 to 4 times a week. I promise you, you do that for the first 4 to 6 weeks, you will see the changes. And then linking it back to the very first point where I said about when you hit stage 2, that there is when potentially you may add in a little bit of cardio. Because if you're going in crazy with the cardio from the start and you drop that initial weight, well then when you get to stage 2 and you've got to adjust the plan, you're going to have to do even more cardio or even more steps. So that 25 minutes cardio that you were already doing, you might have to make that 35 minutes, or you might have to eat even less food, and you just batter your body more and more until the point where you just can't keep it going anymore. I hope that you've taken a lot from this video today. I know more than most what it is like to be at a point where you have zero, and I'm talking zilch, body confidence in yourself. But I want to show you how possible it is to actually make that change, because I'm living proof. And these 5 things here, I truly believe that if they are the 5 things which you can nail consistently, you will make the incredible changes to your physique. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.